Hi, so we are going to continue back this question. Previously we finished until question number 8. Okay, and the boiling point is very low. Why is it low? Because this is because it's a covalent bond and the intermolecular forces is weaker compared to ionic bond. Okay, but the question already discussed. The thing is the distance. This one is
We already discussed this page.
yeah, so I'm just going to skip this. This one also we already discussed. And we go to aqueous bromine used to test the presence of alkene. State the color change. So the color change is from orange to transparent. Okay, so this is a test. Okay, a test, bromine test. Okay, you use a bromine test. Sometimes we call it just a bromine test lah. Use bromine test to test alkene. So if you put bromine inside, it will become orange to transparent. Okay, so the formula for bromine is Al2Br6. So bromine is -1. So basically this so aluminium is +3, correct or not? -1, +3. The melting point of aluminium bromide is 97 degrees and 255. Explain how this information suggests that bromide contain covalent bond. So yeah, because just now I just looked for a while, and the thing is usually you put 97, 255. It's actually the boiling point is quite low. It's quite low lah. If high, usually it's 1000. So to be more assured, let's look at the periodic table. And we can look at the periodic table that actually we can see aluminium is around here. Is other metal or non-metal? Where is aluminium?
13.
Aluminium 13, and bromide is 35. So we can see towards the right side is covalent bond. If you want to talk ionic bond, then it will be the left side and the right side together. Then we call it ionic bond. They have a stronger intermolecular forces so that it can charge faster. I mean, I've charged faster, but it's more difficult to break. Okay, it's more difficult to break. Okay, explain how the information suggests that bromide is a covalent bond. So it makes sense. Okay, both of the item is towards the right side of the periodic table. Use the idea of attractive forces in your answer. Sometimes they use attractive forces. Sometimes they use intermolecular forces. But the more common word that used is attractive force lah. So the student didn't get any mark because the one thing they want to say is covalent bond has a lower melting point, boiling point. We can see maybe you think 255 is a lot, but the reason it say low because ionic bond is usually 1000 plus. It's very difficult to melt a sand, for example. But this one is actually not a good answer lah, because this one is a very subjective answer because covalent can because he say covalent has a lower melting and boiling point compared to ionic bond. So yes, you can say like that. Explain how the information contain covalent bond. Correct, sorry. The question asks, explain how from this information we know that it is a covalent bond. So from this information, the melting point and boiling point is low, and then explain because the intermolecular forces are lower. So intermolecular forces that attract is lower, so it's easier for them to break apart. Of course, they can change the question to ionic bond. So you can say ionic bond because it has higher melting point and boiling point. Why? Because the attractive force between or the intermolecular forces are stronger, so it's harder to break. So you can say like that, depending on the question. But how But because the question didn't ask how you know it is a covalent. If the question asks me how I know, I will say that it is the combination of non-metal element. Then of course with covalent bond, if metal and non-metal is ionic, it's a very straightforward question. That's why I look at the periodic table. Okay, move on. So there's a 2 mark here. Figure 9.1 show an ambulance. So there's a siren. So what do you see? Read the question. You can see the light first. Far distance. You can hear the sound or see the light first. So you can see the light first, correct or not? See the light first, then we hear the sound. This is a very common thing. Why? Because light travels than sound. What is the speed of light? What is the speed of light? Yeah, so the speed of light equals to 300,000 kilometer per second. Takes around 6 seconds for the light to travel around the earth. So even there is a light in America, you will take around 2-3 if I'm not mistaken, it's 6 seconds. 6 seconds for the light to travel around the earth, and it takes around 6 minutes for the light of the sun to reach the earth. If I'm still remember sometimes I wrong. The sun to the earth I think is 6 minutes. The round the earth how many seconds I forget already. I forget how many seconds. So basically we can know but 6 seconds, so 6 times 300,000, you know the distance from the earth to the sun also by measuring the speed of light. But of course the more accurate one is 29979248858. That one is never mind lah. Usually book will just write 300 km per second. Oh, the 310 is the sound, is it? I confused the speed of sound and the speed of light. So for the speed of sound is usually is 330. But sometimes now I Google check it is 340 lah. So it depends on book lah. Some book they write 330, some book they write 340. But they will tell you and they will give you this, then they ask you to count. So it depends on the question. Yeah, so the speed of light is faster than sound. We can also use the sound to determine the distance, the radar, and so on, which we are not going to. The siren sound emit two frequencies, 600 Hz and 1500 Hz. The siren at the plastic casing, the sound travel through the plastic casing at the speed of 22. So the reason that of course the speed of sound is 330, 340. 330 lah usually if I see the book say. But because they are talking about plastic, so because plastic is more denser than the air, we are talking about speed of sound in the air. It also depends on the temperature and what atmosphere, density of the atmosphere and so on. And that's why they didn't give the exact amount, because if you want to calculate the exact number, you need to give the type of air, how clear is the air, and what temperature is the air, and the density of the air, and there are many variables. That's why there's a roughly estimate in the air, speed in the air. But of course in the plastic we can see that it's 2200 because plastic has a higher density, so that it moves faster. Calculate the wavelength of 600 Hertz. Calculate the wavelength of 600. V equals to F lambda. Of course V is the speed, F is the frequency, and lambda is the wavelength. You know lah, this is I don't need to write down. So the student do correctly, and the student do and get 3.67 as the wavelength in terms of meter. Electric motor power the beam of light. The power is 20 watt and the power rating 60 watt. Potential difference is the watt, 12 and 12 watt. What is the type of arrangement? It is a parallel circuit. So the reason, because it has a parallel circuit, if the question asks why, because we can see that the voltage is the same despite what electronic stuff you use, you still get the same voltage. Calculate in the motor when turning the mirror. Calculate the current in the motor. So the current equals to power equals to volt times current. So you do, you get your answer 1.67. The student get 2 mark. For the formula you get 1 mark and working, and the correct answer get 1 mark. Just be careful to write the unit. Yeah, of course combined science usually got coordinated, and physics sometimes they didn't give you the symbol. The lamp on the motor is switched on by switch. The lamp, okay, let's read the question carefully. The lamp and motor are switched on by one switch, even the siren is not being used. So basically this tells that it is parallel, correct or not? So I can use one switch to control the lamp and motor, and the siren is another switch. It could be another switch and not in use. Okay, let's finish the question. The siren has its own, oh yeah, that's why you need to finish the question. The siren has its own switch. So there are two switches, correct or not? One switch to open the lamp and the motor. The motor is the sound, is it? Or maybe the thing to turn the lamp, the motor to turn the lamp. Another one is to turn on the sound. It makes sense, right? Because I'm the ambulance driver. Sometimes I want to be fast, so I just turn on the light, but I don't want to turn on the sound because no people behind me, or it's not emergency and so on. So yeah, so you can do like that. Figure 9.2, complete a diagram in the circuit below to operate the lamp, the motor, and the siren from its 12-volt car battery. So basically we know that probably this is a bit parallel already, because I got two. The siren has its own switch, operate at 12 watt. The motor and the siren. So let's read this one. So the motor and the siren, there's motor, lamp, and siren operate from the 12-volt car battery. So basically this is a car 12 watt. Usually for bigger car like van, sometimes they use 14 watt, 16 watt, 19 watt. For 12 car is really a small car actually. It's, for me, I think it's like my V at 12 watt. The symbol for the siren is blah blah blah. So the student draw and the student didn't get any mark, get 1 mark. The reason is, yeah, so up to you lah. See how you want to draw, as long as the thing work. This yeah. So basically, if there is two switch here, so it makes no sense, because why you want to on the two switch in order to make it on. So just delete the switch, and each student will draw differently. So that's why I say up to you. So because he say one switch can open the siren, one switch lamp and motor, another switch is to open the siren.
Can I?
Okay, so for me, if I want to draw, first I read the question properly, then I know that okay, the siren is one switch, so just draw the siren first. The siren is one switch. Maybe I draw the switch here. So I draw the switch here, so it's easier for understand, I think. So I just draw one switch here. So I have one switch to control the siren, and I put one switch at here, correct or not? I put one switch at here for the motor and the lamp. So I just put the lamp, for example. But this lamp is wrong, because it says that both operate at 12 watts. So here must be 12 watt, here must be 12 watt, here must be 12 watt. But since this is a series, it won't be like that. So I need to make sure it's parallel. So let's erase this one. Just make this lamp got 12 watt. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just erase this again. Okay. So I need to make it the lamp. So maybe the lamp I want to put here. And if you want to, like, it's get very difficult for you to understand, because one switch control two you can even draw like that. Okay, it also can. You want to draw like, I mean, it's not nice lah, but up to you lah. But it makes sense even if this drawing, because one switch control these two, one switch control this one, both has 12 watt, 12 watt, 12 watt, to show that this is a parallel circuit. Okay, they are not that difficult. So the student get 1 mark. If everything you are correct, you get 4 mark. So basically that's it.